You know, now that I think about it, it's pretty amazing that I've never done a single 50s monster movie on this show before. Yeah, I know my Ray Harryhausen video technically had a few 50s monster movies in it, but I'm talking about devoting an entire episode to one. After all, most of them have all the elements that would make them a perfect fit for this show. Clunky acting, nonsensical plot lines, goofy rubber monsters. Not to mention there's so many to choose from, like Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Your stupid minds! Stupid! Stupid!
Robot monster.
You sound like a human, not a Roman.
Fire maidens from Outer Space.
Hold your fire. We'll try and scare him away. By firing at him.
But you know what? This is my first 50s monster movie, so I'm going to need to do something really special. I'm going to need to pick something big, something huge, something as big as a battleship. The Giant Claw is kind of one of those sleeper bad movies. You probably won't find it on any worst movie ever lists, but over the years it's become kind of famous, particularly on the internet. In fact, none other than the angry video game nerd himself, James Rolfe, put the monster at number 1 on his list of the top 10 giant monsters, ahead of even King Kong and Godzilla. So just what's the big deal with this movie? Let's find out. Whoa, spoiler alert, movie. Way to show us what the Giant Claw's giant claw looks like right at the very beginning. Still, it was nice of them to tell us who did the technical effects. That way we know who to blame once we actually see this thing. The movie's also a Clover production, and unfortunately for everyone involved, that's the luckiest thing about this movie. Oh hey, what do you know? From space, the countries of the world really are different colors.
Through the centuries, science has made man's lifetime bigger and the world smaller. Now the farthest corner of the Earth is as close as a push button.
Yeah, I'll say. Now a sarcastic Canadian can make fun of a movie and within seconds people from across the whole world can watch it. So we get a documentary-style opening, probably about how rock and roll encourages communism or something, and eventually we see our main character, Mitch, the world's greatest stock footage test pilot. Anyway, let's meet some of our other characters.
How about Mademoiselle Mathematician? She got enough numbers to feed into a machine jet?
A woman doing math. That is just adorable. Ah, well, whatever makes him feel special in between making us sandwiches, right, fellas? Also, at this point, I have to question Mitch's professionalism.
I didn't know pilots were allowed to do things like that.
Not Air Force pilots, you're right. But Mitch is an electronics engineer. He may work for the government, but man, he kind of makes his own rules.
Yeah, man, Mitch is a rebel. Just this morning we told him to start his test flight at 0600, and instead he got on his motorcycle and drove off into the sunset. We should probably fire him.
He may work for the government, but man, he kind of makes his own rules.
So does a 3-year-old child until his mother spanks him.
Mother, dear mother, I'm ready if you are.
Whoa, 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 take it easy, movie. That type of dirty talk could qualify this movie for a 50s X rating. Better let the narrator take over to make up for it.
An electronics engineer, a radar officer, a mathematician and systems analyst.
And one handsome, smooth-voiced commenter.
People doing a job, well, efficiently. Serious, having fun, doing a job.
Okay, seriously, am I watching a monster movie or an educational film about hygiene? How long is this narrator gonna keep talking?
The moment when an electronics engineer named Mitchell McAfee saw something in the sky. Something that was almost the beginning of the end.
Yeah, almost, but that's another 50s monster movie. Anyway, Mitch sees something fly past him, although it could have just been a smudge on the projector. Now, in a lot of monster movies, the filmmakers will hide the monster's appearance at first in order to build suspense. But I kinda get the feeling the makers of this movie hid the monster for a different reason. You'll see what I mean in a bit.
McAfee reported instantly by radio the sighting of a UFO, an unidentified flying object.
Okay, was the sound recorder sick that day or something? Why is the narrator still talking? Brandon continued to make snide comments regarding the movie's quality at the camera, punctuating his remarks with maybe a Doctor Who reference or something. His fans then asked him when he was going to do another Godzilla movie in the comments, and also that they didn't appreciate the brony joke in his last video, because come on man, I like My Little Pony, and you shouldn't make fun of things that I like. Okay, so if you've seen a 50s monster movie before, you know the drill. Mitch says he saw something, but the higher-ups don't believe him.
There were 3 radars on you every minute you were in the air, not one of them, not one. saw anything but you.
Look,
When you were told this, you knew it. Nevertheless, you persisted with your little joke.
Therefore, we're charging you with being a liar, liar, pants on fire.
The flight was scrambled and dispersed to cover as wide an area as possible. And thanks to your not-so-funny false alarm, Mr. McAfee, one of those planes didn't come back.
Wait, so there's a plane missing? And you never once thought that it might have something to do with Mitch's UFO? Hell, if a plane goes missing nowadays, they'll believe any crazy theory.
Look, Major, I'm sorry about the pilot, but that was no false alarm, believe
Come
me.
off it, Mitch. You've done enough harm with your flying battleship.
Oh yeah, I should probably mention. Throughout the movie, they keep referring to the monster as a flying battleship. I'm not joking. They call it that throughout the entire movie.
Flying battleship?
Like we're hitting a battleship with a slingshot.
A bird as big as a battleship.
Flying battleship?
A bird as big as a battleship.
Flying battleship.
Flying battleship.
Flying battleship.
I don't really know why they keep calling it that. The first person who describes it that way is the narrator.
But something as big as a battleship had just flown over and past him.
And it'd be one thing if they were just using a battleship to give an idea of its size, but there's times where it sounds like they're saying the monster actually looks like a battleship.
I said it looked like a battleship, not that it was a battleship.
At this point in the movie, it looks more like a flying gravy stain. Seriously, no one would ever make a flying battleship. Well, except for maybe Japan. They might make one. Anyway, the army gets more reports about planes mysteriously going missing, so naturally, our main characters hop on a plane.
Getting too rough to work back there. I let the poop on the weather was we'd have it soft all the way into New York.
Wait, what did he just say there?
I let the poop on the weather was we'd have it soft all the way into New York.
Yeah, the weatherman said it would be as smooth as diarrhea the whole way there. Anyway, it's not too long before the flying dust bunny shows up again and scares the pilot.
Unidentified flying object. Mitch, I sure enough saw something like a cloud.
Yes, a cloud. Thank you. That is a much better description than battleship. Worse yet, not only does the monster cause their plane to crash, it also causes a ketchup packet to explode all over this guy's face. Hey, that plane is as big as a flying submarine. Oops, better make that a crashing submarine.
Felt like something collided with us up there.
Yeah. Flying battleship that wasn't there.
The pilot said it looked like a cloud. Why do you keep saying battleship?
Could have called it an overgrown adding machine, then at least you'd have believed me.
Well, that makes about as much sense. Wait a second, who the hell is this guy?
It's good Applejack. I make him myself. Fine for the snake bite.
Let's see. Foreign accent, rural setting, 50s monster movie. You know, I get the feeling this guy isn't gonna last very long.
It's Pierre.
See? Told you. Oh, my mistake. He was just playing possum.
It was the cacagne.
La cacagne.
Oh, I remember. Now I read it somewhere. It's a superstition, a legend that the French Canadians started and came across the border with.
Oh, those wacky French Canadians with their myths and pagan beliefs. Just look at their crazy rituals where they worship the sun.
It's just the devil in the storm. The face of the wolf and the body of the woman.
Celine Dion?
What's the matter with Pierre?
Scared. So he thought he saw a big bird.
Don't you mean battleship? Also, not only does nobody guess that what Pierre saw might have something to do with the giant flying thing that they saw before, they also apparently don't notice this giant claw print right in his backyard. I don't know, they keep describing what they saw as a battleship, so maybe they thought this was just his pool. Okay, so far we know that there's something taking out airplanes, so let's get back on an airplane! Ah, that's pretty creepy, actually.
A many-faceted creature, this Mr. McAfee. First engineer and pilot, and now lover and poet.
Oh, the line of poetry was from Shakespeare.
I know, but where did that impulse come from?
My penis mostly.
Left field, maybe.
I like baseball.
Well, that's good, because I also got to second base while you were asleep, too.
Let's stick to baseball and say instead, out, trying to steal second. Must follow the pattern. You see, first the minor leagues, and then the major leagues. I stick to the rules, Mitch.
Okay, wait, now I'm confused. Does that mean we're gonna do it, or not? But in the middle of all this pillow talk, Mitch figures out a pattern regarding the missing planes.
Where the search plane disappeared, the transpolar airliner, and finally, the Navy patrol plane. Well, see it?
Oh, no.
A pattern.
What? Okay, I know I'm not the first guy to bring this up, but just how the hell would you get a spiral out of that? Why wouldn't you just make a straight line? Actually, you know what? I've got a copy of the map right here, and Now that I take a closer look at it, I kind of think I see my own pattern. Hang on a second here. Okay, let's see. If I connect this here, connect this here, draw a line for no apparent reason here, and aha! I knew it!
Well, maybe it was Pierre's Cacargne with a head of a wolf and a body of a woman with wings as big as I can tell.
There's no need to be sarcastic.
Yeah, that's my job.
Date the 18th of the month. Sky clear, light clouds. Visibility unlimited.
Yeah, thanks for the weather report, Mr. Narrator. Can we get back to the movie now, please? Okay, they've been building it up for over 20 minutes now, so let's see that monster. Wow. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. One of the goofiest looking monsters in movie history. This is what they thought was a flying battleship? It looks more like what would happen if the Cocoa Puffs bird fucked a deadite. And just to add insult to injury, supposedly the filmmakers were originally going to hire none other than Ray Harryhausen to do the effects, but in order to save money, they went with a company in Mexico to make the monster instead. So just to give you an idea, the filmmakers could have had something like this. And instead they went with this. Oh well, they may not have Ray Harryhausen, but hey, at least they got the monster's nostrils to flare. That's an important detail, right? Guess we better inform Mitch of the sighting.
Not a word from the pilot of the private plane, but the CAB pilot reported a UFO. A bird as big as a battleship circled and attacked the plane.
Oh, sorry, my mistake. He actually said a bird as big as an aircraft carrier. I guess it must have been something different. False alarm.
Believe me, Mr. McAfee, this is no joke.
Oh, really? Did you see the monster? Even the pterodactyl from Legend of the Dinosaurs would laugh at this thing. Look, even the actors can't believe it. Yeah, if I knew they went with this thing instead of Ray Harryhausen, that'd be my reaction too. Let's see what the general thinks.
There's some sort of bird, all right. There's no question of that.
And keen observations like that are how he got promoted from Captain Obvious all the way up to General Obvious.
The General understands, Mr. McAfee. He's not blaming you for anything. Relax, man.
Relax? When do we stop relaxing and start doing something?
Well, it's a 50s monster movie, so probably in the last 10 minutes or so. Oh, what am I saying? They can't wait till then. We gotta get the army to shoot it down now.
This is Easy Baker, Squadron Leader. Target below and to the side. See it?
Roger that, Squad Leader. It looks like shit. The army scrambles some planes to fight the monster, but unfortunately for them, the big bird proves to be immune to stock footage. I guess it doesn't help that the planes the bird is shown munching are clearly different from the stock footage ones they show flying.
No! It's coming after me! No! No!
Yeah, I agree, General. That line read was terrible. Guess it's time for Plan B.
Any suggestions, McAfee? Sure. Electronic spitballs.
Close, General, close. Only not electronic spitballs. Atomic spitballs.
Are you sure, Mitch? Our intelligence shows that an atomic wedgie might be more effective. Oh, who am I kidding? There's only one thing that can stop this monster. Science.
According to the law of electrodynamics, all nature is symmetrical. It is in balance. And if there is matter, then there must also be antimatter. A symmetrical mirror image.
Here, all atoms are evil and have goatees. So the scientist/snooty waiter from a Three Stooges short explains that the bird is really an alien from an antimatter galaxy, and it has an antimatter force field that prevents anything from touching it. And he knows all of this because... he has a model of an atom in his lab? I don't know, I'll just assume that this explains everything.
Up to now, only one man had seen the bird and lived. Among those who knew of it, its existence was a closely guarded secret.
Jesus Christ, the narration in Blade Runner was less intrusive than this. Shut up already!
Even then, the bird revealed itself to the world at large, and complacency quickly turned to panic.
You sure it wasn't laughter? By the way, I'm noticing the filmmakers are still hiding the monster's appearance, even though they've already revealed it. Maybe that means even they knew how ridiculous this thing looked. Nope, never mind, there it is. Now come on, Mitch, there's a giant monster on the loose. This is no time to be filing your taxes.
For 2 days and a night now, ever since we got back from Washington, you've had your nose buried in all those papers.
Yeah, it's almost as if there's a gigantic monster threatening the Earth or something. Mitch is actually trying to figure out how to stop the monster, but if that's the case, why does the music sound like it's from a romantic comedy?
I've been thinking about the bird, too.
Yeah, you and everybody else in the world.
Ever stopped to wonder why the bird came here? Could it have been for food?
Okay, so just to be clear, the dialogue is talking about a gigantic antimatter space buzzard, yet the music seems convinced that at any moment Gregory Peck and Audrey Hepburn are gonna show up. So, yada yada, we see the monster attacking more stock footage, and oh, hey look, they're getting chased by a movie. Oh, my mistake. It's the only thing more frightening to 1950s society than giant monsters. Rowdy teenagers.
Maniac driving with lights and fast.
Driving with the lights on when it's dark out? Those maniacs! I'll bet they're probably all hopped up on soda, too.
Hey, man, who's afraid of the big bad bird?
Hey, I know the answer to this one. You, in about 2 seconds. And that is why you should never douche and drive. Well, that does it. Taking out planes is one thing, but attacking the youth of America? Time to take down this buzzard once and for all.
Miss Caldwell, McAfee, I'm a busy man. I hope this isn't some sort of crackpot wild goose chase.
Don't you mean wild battleship chase? What? Okay, Mitch, you got any ideas for taking this thing down?
This is a blow-up I had made of a bubble chamber photograph. The chamber was bombarded with high-speed particles made by what is known as a mu meson.
Yes, the formation of a temporary masic atom, the mu meson with a hydrogen nucleus.
Right. Mu mesons are 210 times heavier than electrons, which means that in a masic atom, the electrons revolve around a nucleus at just a small fraction of the ordinary distance in the normal atom.
All right, I got it. Science. Moving on. Originally, they were going to get past the monster's force field by uploading it with a computer virus, but that would just be stupid.
This weapon would have to create masic atoms.
I heard them the first time! Shut up! They better hurry, though. The monster's moved from stock footage to attacking model trains. You got that machine ready yet, Mitch?
Is that bird still in the air?
Why, yeah.
You still want to shoot it down?
Well, yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure, whatever. I mean, if it's not too much trouble, I don't know.
It was a simple matter of adjusting the polarity on the main condenser terminals.
Hey, look, Mitch just invented the solution to every Doctor Who episode ever.
I reversed the polarity of the neutron flow.
He's reversed the polarity!
I just reversed the polarity.
Reverse the polarity. Reverse the polarity. Reverse the polarity.
Reverse the polarity!
Reverse the polarity of the neutron flow.
See? I told you he'd do a Doctor Who reference in this video. Alright, shut up! Hey, look, the bird's on top of the Empire State Building. I can't wait until Peter Jackson remakes this movie and makes it over 3 hours long. Alright, there's only a few minutes left. Time to sink this battleship.
For God's sake, hurry, man.
Damn it, General, if this screw isn't tightened properly, then we're all doomed! By the way, I've always wanted to do this.
I'll swallow your soul! I'll swallow your soul!
Swallow this.
It's all yours, General.
And so Mitch's machine is a success. Just how do they know that it worked? Because science, that's how.
Fire rockets!
And that's it. The monster gets immediately killed by one plane. Yeah, and you thought Godzilla 98 was a pussy. Also, I think this is just footage of the director's reaction when he first saw the puppet they made. In its initial release, the giant claw didn't get much attention, but in recent years its popularity's grown considerably, and it's now regarded as one of the most infamous 50s monster movies ever made. Honestly though, other than the monster, I really don't think it's that bad. The acting, dialogue, and photography are all decent for this type of movie, and if they had gotten Ray Harryhausen to do the effects and had a better design, it'd probably be regarded as an okay monster movie. But of course they didn't hire Ray Harryhausen, and I do have to admit, that antimatter space buzzard is one of the most hilariously goofy monsters ever put on film. And this movie is worth seeing just for how ridiculous it is. But as far as being one of the worst 50s monster movies ever made, nah, there's worse out there. And hey, who knows, maybe someday I'll even feature some of them on this show. Well, that's all for now. Until next time.